Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I visible? Pwede kayong mag-chat-chat dyan sa YouTube. So, this is streaming live via my YouTube channel and shared ito dito sa ating group, sa Free Online Law School group for bar takers. Am I visible? Nakikita ba ako? Yes, yes, yes. Yan, meron tayong 29 views. So you can chat your pag may mga questions kayo, pwede kayong mag-chat dito sa chat. Pwede kayong mag-message dito sa chat box via YouTube. So, okay. Kailangan ko ng mga maraming gadget. Okay, sige. Malilate tayo sa ating schedule. Thank you, Sis Jade. Thank you sa admins ng Free Online. Okay, sige. Malilate tayo sa ating schedule. Thank you, Sis Jade. Thank you sa admins ng Free Online. Okay, sige. Malilate tayo sa ating schedule. Oh my God, ba't ako nag-feed up? Thank you, Sis Jade. Thank you sa admins ng Free Online. Sige. Sige, mag-focus tayo sa StreamYard. Diba, ang hirap maging techie sa panahon na to. So, meron na tayong 46 viewers. I think we can start already. I hope nagsistream siya live din sa... I don't know bakit hindi siya nagpi-play doon sa mismong... Anyway, this is my YouTube channel, guys, and you can... Hi, JHBL. Yan, sige, mag-start tayo with Data Privacy Act. So, ano ba ang kahalagahan ng Data Privacy Act sa panahon nitong pandemya? So, alam nyo naman, no, pagka pupunta kayo sa mall, 'di ba, or kahit sa establishment, pumipirma kayo ng parang form doon. Yes, thank you, June. Pumipirma kayo ng form. So, nakalagay doon na parang yung willingness ninyo na ibigay yung mga personal information ninyo doon sa mall na yon. Okay, so yun yung mga kahalagahan ng Data Privacy Act. Mamaya, maiintindihan nyo kung saan pumapasok yung accountability ng mga data controller na yan or na nag-gather ng mga information or private information ng mga tao. Good afternoon, Miss Irene Marsan. Sige, mag-share screen na ako. Where is my, yeah. Okay. Share screen. So, ayan, visible ako, visible ba ako? So, let me check yung YouTube channel na para makita ko kung visible ako. Yan. Okay. What is Data Privacy Act? This is Republic Act number 10173. Tanong lang natin kung visible, ha? Okay, let's get it on. Okay, Data Privacy Act. So, every time na magle-lecture ako no, about sa law or policy, I always start with the intention of the law. And where can you find the intention of the law? Of course, doon sa constitutional basis. That is very basic, 'di ba? Sabi nga ni Justice Leonen, no, meron siyang tip, stick to the basic. So, anong kahalagahan ba para malaman mo kung ano yung intention ng batas? Of course, if there is doubt as to the interpretation or application, kunwari hindi mo alam, parang feeling ko dapat i-apply tong Data Privacy Act eh. Pero nalilito ako sa pag-interpret. Hindi ko alam kung hindi ko alam kung tama yung application ko nitong batas na ito. You always go back to the intention of the law and you can find that on the Constitution. Okay. So ano yung constitutional basis ng Data Privacy Act? So first, Section 2, no? Sabi dun sa Bill of Rights, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures or whatever nature for any purpose shall be inviolable. And no search warrant or warrant of arrest shall issue except upon probable cause to be determined personally by the judge after examination under oath or affirmation of the complainant and the witnesses he may produce, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person to be seized. Okay. So, yan yung very basic. Alam niyo yung right to ano 'di ba? Right to to be secure in your persons and papers, especially dun sa mga warrantless arrest or search without warrant. So, another constitutional basis is Section 3, no? Dun sa Bill of Rights again, the privacy in communication and correspondence shall also be inviolable except upon lawful order of the court. So another, any evidence obtained in violation of this or the preceding section shall be inadmissible for any purpose in any proceeding. So the fruit of the poisonous tree. So yan yung lagi nyo tatandaan. Ano ang constitutional basis ng batas na ito? For if in case na you will encounter some doubts as to the application and interpretation, hindi lang to sa Data Privacy Act, no. I'm sharing this as a syempre nag-bar din ako. So laging yung tatandaan yan na doon para sa mga bar takers natin, laging yung tatandaan pagka nalilito na kayo or hindi niyo na alam kung saan anong ipapasok niyo na batas diyan, always go back to the Constitution kasi that's the very basic, no. Yan naman ang talagang basihan ng mga batas natin, no, ng mga legislations natin. So saan yung makukuha din yung another intention, no? Siyempre, specifically, it is provided sa batas mismo. Nandoon po yun sa Declaration of Policy. So yan yung mga hindi na, pag magbabasa tayo ng batas, lagi tayo nakafocus sa grounds. Lagi tayo nakafocus sa how is it how the crime is committed, ano yung punishment, no? So nakakalimutan natin basahin yung Declaration of Policy. So in this particular law, no, it is stated in the Declaration of Policy that the state shall protect, no, the fundamental human right of privacy and communication while ensuring free flow of information to promote innovation and growth. The state recognizes the vital role of information and communications technology in nation building. So again, meron tayong constitutional basis which is very basic, no, na basihan ng mga batas. But then again, our law, no, our subsequent laws must also keep up with the innovation, no, with the development, no, in the society, in the economy, no, yung kalagayan ng ating ng ating pamumuhay. So now that we are already in advanced communication, no, by the use of internet, by the use of mga gadgets na high-end, 'di ba, na yung technology, of course, kailangan magkaroon ng specific policy or basis ng batas na ito para i-ankla mo doon, no, i-anchor mo doon sa mga general principles under the Constitution. So that's how you start to study the law. Kailangan yung dibdibin kung ano yung intention ng batas na ito. Kasi nandun yun yung magfi-fill ng gaps, no. Yun yung parang parang kumbaga in layman's term, parang konsensya ng batas eh. So you can never go wrong in applying and interpreting the law if you know the intention of the law. So always take note of that. Next, ano ba yung scope? Okay. So you have to keep this in mind, no. This act shall apply, no, to the processing of all types of personal information and to any natural and juridical person involved in personal information. So ang mga titignan nyo dyan is personal information. So take note of that. What is personal information? And kanino ba yung mga personal information na yan? Okay, these are from natural and juridical person. Ay alam niyo naman, syempre mga law student kayo, 'di ba? Alam niyo 'yan. No, yung iba magbabar. Ano ba yung natural person? Siyempre, yan yung individual. Of course, tayo, natural person. Juridical person, of course, those entities or personality that acquires or obtain a separate juridical personality by virtue of a law or by virtue of an act. For example, corporation. So, upon securing, no, upon registration, no, approval of the registration, they already acquired a separate juridical personality from the members or the owners of the corporation. Another example ng juridical person, estate. Diba? Pag namatay yung natural person, yung estate niya nagkakaroon ng separate juridical personality, kaya nga tinawag na estate. So, separate from the person or separate from the deceased. So, yung natural person, patay na, but the estate, having the juridical person, still stands. So, yun yung mga tinatawag ng mga juridical person. Okay? So, this is also involved in personal information processing, including those personal information controllers and processors who, although not found or established in the Philippines, use equipment that are located in the Philippines, or those who maintain an office, branch, or agency in the Philippines, subject to the immediate preceding paragraph. Okay. Next. So, general rule, di ba, ng criminal law. General rule. The law has no, the criminal law adheres to the territoriality principle. Alam nyo yan, no? Territoriality principle, kapag sa Pilipinas mo na nagawa, you can only be punished and prosecuted here in the Philippines. So, territoriality principle. But, the exemption is if a particular law specifically provided otherwise. Okay, in this case, this is one of the laws, no, na nagbigay ng provision as to the exemption of the territoriality principle. So itong Data Privacy Act, no, meron siyang extraterritorial application. Okay, alin pa? Example, cybercrime. Mayroon din yan extraterritorial application. Okay. Next. So, general data privacy principles. So, the processing of personal information shall be allowed, subject to compliance with the requirements of this act and other laws, allowing disclosure information to the public in adherence to the principle of transparency, legitimate purpose, and proportionality. So, ano yung kaninang keynotes natin? Personal information, natural and juridical person, processor, personal information processor, and controllers. Okay, let's first go to the personal information. Ano ba yung mga personal information na sinasabi, no, in the context of this law? Okay, hindi ito yung personal information, basta personal information lang na madalas akong mag-gym, personal information na madalas akong kumain ng Korean food. So, it's not like that, no? These personal information are exclusive as provided for by the law. Mamaya, malalaman nyo na naman kung ano ang intention kung bakit specific itong mga personal information na to. So, mamaya, tuturuan ko kayo, no? How will you relate this personal information, the essence of knowing how this personal information. So, ito yung mga personal information collected for a specified and legitimate purpose, okay, determined and declared before as soon as reasonably practicable after collection, and later processed in a way compatible with such declared, specified, and legitimate purposes only. So, ayan. So, the personal information must be processed fairly and lawfully. So, it must be accurate, relevant, okay, and where necessary for purposes for which it is to be used, no, in processing the personal information. Okay. So, it must also be adequate, no, and not excessive, meaning kung ano lang yung purpose. Let's say, for example, for the purpose of, yung sa mga malls, no, ang kailangan lang naman nila manaman doon is name, address, contact number, kasi nga for contact tracing, and yung mga chine-check nyo na may sakit ka ba, sore throat, ganyan, or medical status, okay, medical condition. So, ayan. Okay. Teka, hanapin natin yung ano. Okay, so punta muna tayo, mamaya na tayo doon, nalagpasan natin yun. So, these are personal and privileged information. These are information about individual's race. Okay, take note of this, ha. Individual's race, ethnic origin, marital status, age, color, and religious, philosophical, and political affiliations. Okay. About an individual's health, education, generic or sexual life of a person, or to any proceeding or any offense committed or alleged to have been committed. So, another are those issued, no information issued by the government agency which are peculiar. For example, yung SSS number, LTO number, okay? Sako po yan ng Data Privacy Act. Okay, marked as classified by executive order of the Congress. Siyempre, yung mga classified information natin from Congress, ano ba yung mga yan? Classified nga kaya hindi ko alam eh. Hindi, joke lang. Siyempre, yung mga ano daw yan, mga intel. So, sensitive personal or privileged information. So, again, itong mga information na to, lagi niyong tatandaan na these are all the information or personal information that is covered by this law, no? Mamaya malalaman niyo kung bakit kailangan intindihin at isapuso ninyo na ito lamang ang personal information. Kasi nagkakaroon tayo ng conflict as to the application of the what law o ano ba yung na-violate. Okay. Sige, balik tayo dito. Okay. Consent. Okay, consent must be freely given. Okay, specific, informed, and evidenced by recorded means. So, ibig sabihin, ang pinaka-importante dito, no, bukod sa voluntariness, is the consent that was given must be proved by a hard evidence. Hindi po pwedeng constructive consent. For instance, sa group chat ninyo, okay, di ba, sa mga opisina, kung saan dyan si personnel, ito ito yung mga, kukunin ko po yung mga data ninyo, ganyan, data nyo, ilalagay natin sa system natin kung sino na ang mga vaccinated or whatsoever. Walang memorandum from the office, okay? So, the danger sought to be prevented here is that walang security si data controller, no, when a person walang security si person or the subject of the personal information na ma-secure yung kanyang personal information na binigay niya. Why? If she or he will allege thereafter na it is the information was gathered or obtained without his or her consent, tapos wala naman siya mapakita na wala namang mapakita na pinirmahan niya, no, yung consent form or merong memorandum or order for that matter. And then there, no, the data controller pala, the data controller pala cannot be secured, no, na hindi niya na violate yung pagdi-disclose ng information na ito. Let's say, for example, the information as to the medical status or condition of each personnel should be given to the, let's say, barangay officials. However, meron nga tayong IATF rules na kailangan mo naman talagang i-report, 'di ba, sa LGU. For instance, naibigay niya doon sa persons or sa mga officials not subject to na kumbaga hindi naman kailangan ng information na yun. It was accidentally disclosed. And then wala siyang security na it was given freely sa kanya dahil walang consent form. It is just a parang constructive kasi wala, nung nag-message naman po ako, wala naman po siyang violent reaction. No, that is not the consent that is being contextualized here in the law. Kasi kailangan mo talaga ng hard evidence, no, or recorded means na nagpo-prove ng consent. Kaya nga yung mga pinipirmahan natin, di ba, kapag pumupunta tayo sa mall, minsan nakakapagod na, pirma na lang ng pirma. So maganda nga ngayon, meron na tayong QR code, di ba? Pag pumupunta tayo, hindi na tayo pipirma. So, again, yun yung mga hard evidence or recorded means that you you freely give your consent to the data controller or processor. Okay, exception to the consent is it is not required for processing where the data subject is a party to a contractual agreement. Of course, syempre kung ikaw naman ay nag-a-apply, kung ikaw naman ay, saglit lang po Sorry. Okay. Kunwari, ikaw ay nag-a-apply, no? Or kunwari, nagpapa-check up ka sa nagpapa-check up ka sa clinic. So, kailangan magbigay ka din ng information doon, no? Yan, yung may contractual agreement, if you are applying for a position in a corporation or in government, you submit your PDS, you submit your resume, which includes, no, or states your personal information or data. So, yan, response to a national emergency. So, hindi na necessary yung consent. So, again, to pursue a legitimate interest of the data controller. Okay. Next, required agreements. The law requires that when sharing data, the sharing be covered by an agreement that provides adequate safeguards for the rights of the data subject and that these agreements are subject to review of the National Privacy Commission. So, may kita nyo naman, di ba, yung form, laging nakalagay doon, nakastate pa nga doon yung Data Privacy Act. Oh, di ba? 10173. Nakastate pa dyan. Minsan tinatagalog pa nila para naman hindi unfair doon sa mga hindi masyadong nakakaintindi ng English. Okay. So, general rule, all processing of sensitive and personal information is prohibited except in certain circumstances. So, ito yung mga exception. Yan, consent of data subject, no, pursuant to the law that does not require consent, necessity to protect life and health of a person. So, yan, nararanasan na natin ngayon yan. Wala na tayong choice kundi ibigay o i-report sa ating mga Sorry. So, ayan. Necessity for medical treatment, necessity to protect the lawful rights of data subject in court proceedings. Okay. So, very clear naman. Self-explanatory. Okay. Privacy program required. So, the law required that any entity involved in data processing and subject to the act must develop or implement a review procedures for the collection of personal data, obtaining consent, limiting processing to define purposes, no, access management, providing recourse to data subjects, and appropriate data retention policies. Ang gusto lang sabihin nito, it is required sa ating mga ahensya na magkaroon ng tamang polisiya, no, localized policy or a system, no, sa pagpaprocess ng mga data na ito na kinukolekta natin. Hindi lang sa mga personnel or sa mga laborers natin, hindi lang sa ating mga manggagawa, but also doon sa ating mga clientels, okay, sa ating mga stakeholders. So, ayan, mandatory personal information breach notification. So, what is security incident? It is an event or occurrence that affects or tends to affect data protection. So, it may compromise availability, integrity, or confidentiality of a personal information. So, this definition includes incidents that would result in a personal breach, if not for safeguards that may have been put in place. So, under ng security breach is the personal breach. Okay? Personal data breach. Kasi, kung yung security system mo ay na-breach, of course, it is inevitable na yung mga personal data information will also be breached. Okay? So, it actually leads to accidental or unlawful destruction or loss or alteration or unauthorized disclosure of or access to personal data transmitted. Ang pinakasikat na example nito, syempre yung recently na breach ng system ng BDO. Ayan, alam na alam nyo yan, di ba? So, bukod doon, bukod sa na-disclose ang personal information ng mga depositors, nawalan pa ng mga deposits, no? Certain amounts of money. Okay. Okay, so when there is breach, of course, there is a requirement of notification. So, ano ba yung laman ng notification? No? The breach of information must be sensitive. So, ito yung mga requisites. So, there is a reasonable belief that an authorized acquisition has occurred. So, the risk of the data subject is real and the potential harm is serious. So, in relation to what has happened doon sa BDO, nakapag-notify naman sila that there are personal data breach. So, saan kayo magno-notify? You notify the National Privacy Commission and also the data subject. Siyempre, bukod dun sa mga clients mo, sa mga depositors mo, you also notify the Data Privacy Commission. So, within 72 hours of the knowledge of or reasonable belief that belief by the data controller of a personal data breach that requires notification. So, ayan po yung contents. Okay. So, let's go to penalties. Ito, favorite nyo to kasi nakakalimutan nyo yung declaration of policy. Hindi. Okay. Penalties, of course, depende po ito doon sa severity. So, ganun naman, di ba? Lagi nakita naman natin revised penal code. Katulad sa mga crimes na estafa. So, depende sa magkano yung estafa, di ba? Dito, depende rin siya sa grounds. So, depende rin siya doon sa severity. But the thing here is there are two penalties. Pwedeng fine, pwedeng imprisonment, or both. Yun lang naman. Pwedeng imprisonment and fine or both. And bukod doon, yung failure to notify that there is a security breach or personal data breach will also be the person will also be held liable. Meron din yang imprisonment and fine. Okay. So here is the parang matrix. Simple matrix. Okay. Data subject. Ayan. Ayan ang data subject ha, tatandaan nyo. Data subject, individual whose personal information is being processed. Personal information controller. Okay, take note. These are person or organizations who controls collection, holding, processing, use of personal information, including those who instruct others to do so. Okay. Next, personal information processor. So these are natural or juridical persons to whom a personal information controller may outsource the processing of personal data pertaining to data subject. Okay, so si controller, siya yung syempre nagki-keep safe, siya yung nagpa-process, siya yung kumukuha. On the other hand, the personal information processor, it is a person na ina-outsource ng controller just in case kung marami yung bulky, yung voluminous yung information na kailangan nating i-process. Okay. So, ayan. Okay. Okay. So, anong ibig sabihin, attorney? Ano bang ibig sabihin natin dun sa, bakit mo pinagsasabi pa kanina pa, kung anong kahalagahan ng data information controller, processor, data subject, personal information. The essence of knowing it is because if, okay, ganito, kung ang nag-disclose ng information ay hindi naman data collector, hindi naman siya data processor, hindi siya data information processor, or hindi rin siya na-task or na-delegate to do that, hindi siya po pwede, maaaring hindi siya pumasok sa Data Privacy Act. Another thing is, if the information that was disclosed is not considered as a personal information insofar as this Data Privacy Act is concerned, it will also not be considered as violation of Data Privacy Act. So yun yung sinasabi ko kasi that's are the requisites, that's are the elements. So why am I sharing this to you? because I want to share no yung papaano nyo ipaprocess at papaano nyo pag-aaralan ng isang batas. Okay? Hindi kasi po pwedeng i-memorize mo lang, hindi po alam ko lang yung requisite, alam ko lang yung no, you should know it by heart. Why? If syempre pag sa bar naman, there are also meron naman talagang answer na talagang swak to the point. Ay, alam ko to, jurisprudence, ganyan. But also, in reality, you can also have an answer that is logically correct, no? May legal basis ka na, but you're of course on the defense side. Pwede naman yun kasi in reality naman kapag nasa field ka na kung abogado na kayo. Like sa defense, no? Katulad ako sometimes, no? Lagi ako sa defense. I always go to the elements, no? Lagi kong tinitingnan yung elements. Focus on the elements. Pag nabasag ko yung elements na yon, then there's no crime committed. So kung dito sa Data Privacy Act, kung ang information naman na dinisclose ay hindi naman doon sa mga information na sinabi dito sa batas na ito, tapos kapitbahay mo lang, hindi naman data controller, there is no Data Privacy Act. So ang tanong, attorney, anong gagawin? Di wala na po akong resort. I don't have any legal remedy available for me. Of course not. Always look into ano ba ang intention, doon ka bumalik. Establish the intention of the perpetrator. Bakit niya dinisclose yun? If that person, no, na hindi naman data controller, hindi naman information controller, no, at yung subject na yung information ay hindi naman parang scope ng Data Privacy Act. But the intention of disclosing it is to disrepute you or ridicule you, di ba? Malign you, then it might fall under other laws. And what is that law? That is cybercrime law. So yun yung, dito kasi nagkakaroon ng actually marami ako na-encounter na inquiry na laging sinasabi nila, attorney, dinisclose niya sa yung ko ganito, dinisclose nitong kaaway ko, dito nakatira yung may utang sa akin, hindi nagbabayad, samantalang bili ng mga ganito, pinost niya yung bahay ko, attorney, tapos pinost niya pa yung ko. First and foremost, sino ba yung nag-post? Is it a person na task, no? Na kumolekta ng mga personal information na yan? And is that pasok ka nga because that's data, that's personal information, that's sensitive data, no? Yung bahay mo, yung address mo. But hindi naman siya si data controller, so it will not fall under Data Privacy Act. It might fall to cybercrime. Okay? Lalo na kung ginamit ang information technology. Pero kung it is published, you always go back to the basic, and that's the regular libel. Okay, so that's the difference. That is the essence of knowing the elements of the crime. Especially, no, ganito lang yan tandaan nyo. Who may commit, 'di ba? Sa Revised Penal Code nandun 'yon. Yung kaibahan na kapag ang kinumit nito, ang nag-commit ng illegal detention is a public enforcer who is a law enforcement agent or officer, it will be arbitrary detention. On the other hand, if it is a private individual, it's illegal detention. So, ganun din yung pagbabasa nyo ng mga special law na ito. Lagi nyong titignan. So, the keynote here is go to the declaration of policy. Know it by heart. That's where you see the intention of the law. Second, basahin nyo mabuti ang definition of terms. Kasi nandun lang very basic nandun sa definition of terms para malaman ninyo kung kung i-apply nyo ba, tama ba yun? Kasi kung sa bar exam, I know that Data Privacy Act might not be, no, might not be consider parang hindi maisama as a question in the bar exam. But what I am sharing with you is on how you analyze, how you study the law. Para kung maka-encounter kayo nito, ng mga general tip na ito, maka-encounter kayo ng ganitong doubts, pag mag-a-answer kayo, you always go back to the intention, go back to the elements, go back to alin ba ang perpetrator, the grounds. No, wag masyadong mag-focus dun sa, kumbaga, don't overdo it. Always, always ano lang, focus on the elements of the crime. Focus on the elements of the crime. Kasi kung wala ang isa, then hindi it might not be considered as a crime punishable or offense committed. And also, kapag magsasagot kayo sa bar, wag din naman kayong wag din naman kayong masyadong tawag dito, mahaba sumagot, no? When I was sige, let me just share with you, no? Nung nagbabar ako, parang yun nag-review kami parang 3 months or 4 months after we graduated. Tapos, sabi ko, alam ko naman. Talagang alam ko eh. Super, super confident ako. Kasi nag-aral na ako, inaral ko yan eh. Inaral ko yan for how many years in law school. So, sabi ko, paano ko kaya malalaman kung alin ang weakness ko? So, that's the first thing that I did is to know my weakness. Kasi hindi nyo na weakness yung hindi nyo alam. Of course, alam nyo yan. Nandiyan lang yan sa utak nyo all this time. Hindi nyo lang alam paano nyo gagamitin. Okay, so I joined the MAC bar in BEDA, Constitutional Law. Then, nung nag-a-answer na ako, nasa number 1 pa lang ako. Alam ko talaga, alam ko ang sagot, pero hindi ko alam kung paano ko siya i-express. Hindi ko alam kung paano ko ilalagay doon yung sagot, if-frame yung answer in a way that everything that is in my mind will be included in my answer. Kasi ang dami eh. No, the question is about state immunity. So, ang dami mong alam eh. Alam mo yung elements, alam mo yung exception ng state immunity, pero hindi mo siya alam i-frame. So, ang result, hindi masyado maganda yung mock bar result kasi nga, bukod sa naubusan ako ng oras, ang haba-haba talaga ng sagot ko. So, from that time, ang ginawa ko, I focus myself on studying and reviewing bar question and answer. Again, bar question and answer, but not for the purpose, okay? But not for the purpose of memorizing the question and the answer. Kasi ang danger dito na ginagawa ng mga barista nun at ng mga estudyante, pag binigyan sila ng samplex, pag binigyan sila ng ganito, bar Q&A, minimemorize ang tanong, pati yung answer i-memorize. No. The reason why you have to study the bar question and answer is for you to familiarize yourself on how is the proper way of framing your answer. Yung ganun kaikli, concise, brief, straight, stick to the point, 'di ba? Talagang target mo agad na nandoon. And siguro mukhang naging effective naman because when I studied naubusan na ako talaga ng oras eh. When I studied during the bar, na nag-review ako, ang binasa ko lang for criminal law is Q&A, bar question and answer. Consolidated bar question and answer by topic, nakita ko lang siya sa internet. That's from mula 1997 hanggang 2014 yata yung nabasa ko. Ganun kahaba, parang nasa 1,000 pages yun. Binasa ko lang ng binasa kung paano siya mag-answer. And siguro naging effective naman. Hindi ako nakapagbasa ng libro. Okay? Wala akong first reading, second reading ng mga ganyan. Kasi first and foremost, hindi talaga ako mapagbasa na tao. I'm visual, no? Meron ang memory ko is visual memory, nakalimutan ko yung term. So natatandaan ko siya, kunwari, dito yung highlight ko. Hinighlightan ko to dito sa kabila, page ganito. Ganun ko siya natatandaan. So, hindi talaga ako masyadong mabasa. So, nagbabasa lang ako once and pag naintindihan ko na, I let go of it. Kasi once, twice, wala. Mauumay na ako niyan. So, yun. Binasa ko yung bar question and answer. And mukhang effective siya because criminal law is my second to the highest bar exam grade. No? Ang first is my remedial law, second is my criminal law, third is commercial, and the rest is history. Okay. Huwag niyo na tanungin kung ano, basta gano'n. Basta gano'n. Second siya sa pinaka-highest. Kumbaga, sa akin, okay na. I'm convinced, satisfied na ako doon sa result na yun. Especially, na wala nga makapaniwala na yun lang ang binasa ko eh. Because I don't have time to read, ano ba, sino bang libro noon? Reyes, na pagkahaba-haba ni Reyes, no? Wala na akong time to read that. Meron pa second, first, nakakaumay siya. So, lagi niyong tatandaan when you are answering. No? Hindi lang sa mga bars, ito mga estudyante natin dito, na don't lose confidence on yourself. Andyan yan, nasa utak niyo yan. Siyempre kung napag-aralan niyo talaga, baka naman confident ka lang pero hindi ka naman nag-aral. Pero kung nag-aral ka, nandyan lang yan. Kapag ka nag-start ka na magsulat, parang gripo yan, lalabas lahat yan. But, katulad ng gripo, pag binuksan mo at hindi mo kinontrol, dire-diretso mapupuno. Okay? So you also have to control every data, every information na lalabas sa utak mo. Kailangan kung ano lang yung related, what is logically related, no, relevant and material to the issue at hand. And when you answer the bar, titignan mo yung answers, no, lalo na in criminal law. Minsan nandoon na yung sagot eh. Because in criminal law, you always, the basic, no, the rule of thumb is to know or to establish the intention of the perpetrator. Diba? Lagi mong titignan, lalo na pag ang tanong is, what is the crime committed? So, titignan mo lagi, na minsan nandoon eh, A, with the intention to kill, o A, has a grudge, o with the intention to, mga ganon, diba? So, I'm not authority, no? I'm not an authority in criminal law. Hindi rin ako nagpe-predict ng mga possible questions in criminal law or possible questions, bar exam questions. But I'm sharing this with you, no, my personal experience and my personal strategies during the bar exam. So, ilang oras pa ba tayo? Okay, I think meron pa tayong oras. Pwede tayong question and answer. Meron pa ba tayong question? Malaking tulong po sa, thank you very much, JHBL. Ilim ko na itong aking share screen. How I will remove this? Okay. Ayan. Meron ba tayong mga tanong? Nakikita ko kasi yung mga chat box. And by the way, you can also like my page para naman, kung hindi naman kalabisan. Ang page ko po ay Attorney Bern Abilin. Makikita nyo naman, ito ang profile. Yan. Profile picture ko, yung naka-white po ako na blazer. Same as my profile picture in this YouTube channel. And please subscribe din po sa YouTube channel ko. Meron ako ditong cybercrime. Okay, sino si Vanessa? Saglit lang. Meron tayong mga tanong. Hello, good afternoon, PDM 1981. Thank you for this lecture. God bless you more. Ay, taray naman si Sir Mandolin. Thank you for the lecture. Big help for baristas. Thank you, Ma'am Maria, Christina Corpus. Maraming po salamat. Actually, hindi ko nga, sabi ko nga kay sa ibang mga admin, parang mahirap naman, paano ba ako magle-lecture ng para sa bar, kasi kung data privacy, parang I doubt naman na ipapasok yan. Pero malay nyo, pumasok kasi nga bilang pandemic ngayon, sikat na sikat yung pag-sign natin ng mga forms, di ba? Malay nyo lang pumasok, di ba? Malay nyo pumasok. O di may ano ba, 2 points na. Hindi ko na kasi alam eh. Kasi ang ano na ngayon, ang scoring system yata, hindi ko na alam. Dati, 10 points each per number, 5, 2, 2, ganyan. So, hindi ko alam kung malay niyo pumasok, di ba? Basta lagi niyong tatandaan, be confident sa inyong mga sarili kasi you already know that. You have been studying for so long. Anyway, ma'am, what part of data privacy, ma'am, na we can relate to commercial law? Oh my gosh, bar exam ito. Hi, Mr. Jacob Bancale. I-relate ang data privacy. Okay. Siguro you can relate this. Actually, naghahanap ako talaga ng jurisprudence. No? I've been looking for jurisprudence since yung isang araw. Ang nakita ko lang is yung complaint, pero nandun pa siya sa National Privacy Commission. So meaning, wala, ano lang siya, administrative pa lang, no? na hini-hear yung complaint na yun. So hindi pa siya umaakyat sa Supreme Court. Kaya hindi ko siya ma-share kasi hindi pa naman siya considered as part of law of the land. Okay, kung i-relate siya sa commercial law, maybe siguro dun sa yung sinasabi ko kanina, sino-sino ba yung mga accountable officers for data collection sa ating mga corporations, no? When it comes to private corporations, when it comes to private dealings. For instance, sa private corporation nga sa si San Miguel. So alin din mga accountable officers diyan? For example, yung HR. Yan, kasi nandiyan sila yung kumukuha talaga ng mga information. Records, no? The records division, yung kung saan yung nag-accept ng mga data. And also, siguro yun sa bank. Yan, kasi yung BDO, 'di ba? Sikat na sikat ngayon. So, sino ang mga person liable? So, aside from, 'di ba, sabi nga doon, ang mga person liable may be natural or juridical person. So natural, of course, kung sino talaga yung data handler or collector ng BDO. Second, of course, the BDO itself kasi pwede nga silang ma-held as juridical, ma-hold, punishable or liable when dun sa breach na yon. Okay? Pagka upon investigation na meron talagang lapse of parang system, no? Pero yun nga, kung secured ka naman, meron ka namang substantial, meron kang compliance doon sa National Privacy Commission as to the standards of security na kailangan ng sistema ng iyong corporation or your services, then wala tayong magagawa doon sa mga ano ng hacker. So they will be punished for yun, yung pagnanakaw, yung identity theft, mga ganyan. Okay. Nandun sa batas yung yung different modes of committing. Merong cybersex. So, yung kanina dinidiscuss ko, syempre, yun yung disclosure ng mga private information ng mga task ng mga data controllers. So, in relation nga dito sa ating pandemic na palagi tayong nag-check ng mga forms natin. So, kung wari, cybersex, may nandun din yung, oh my gosh, sorry. Nasa cybercrime na naman ako. Mali. Okay, so, yun, yung meron doon hacking, no? Meron data doon sa Data Privacy Act, no? Meron din yung parang gumamit ka ng, actually kasi talaga nakakalito itong dalawang crimes na ito. Kasi magkaangkla talaga sila dahil parehas ng na may relation sa information technology. So I guess yun lang yung ma-share ko sa commercial. Kung natin siya, i-relate natin siya sa commercial law. Paano po masagot ang 3 to 4 sentence na correct po kung may mali pa na score pa din? Sorry. Sir Ryan Paul Ulamit, paano po masagot ng 3 to 4 sentence na correct po kung mali man po ay may score pa din? Okay. Ganito, nung nasa law school ako, lagi kong tinandaan talaga hanggang ngayon. Kahit pag gumagawa ako ng pleading or gumagawa ako ng decision, kasi nagda-draft din ako ng decisions dun sa aking agency na nagtatrabahuhan. sabi ng ating late attorney Amorao, kilala niyo ba yan? No? The great legend of criminal law. Ang sabi noon, sabi niya, if the question is, for instance, ang question is, what is the crime committed? So, lagay mo agad, straight to the point. Point number 1, the crime committed is murder. Second paragraph mo, or second sentence mo should be, according to the. So, that would be your legal basis. According to the blank, blank, blank. According to the RPC, according to the Republic Act, ganyan, ganyan. Murder is committed with pak, 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 pak. Okay. When you already put your legal basis, you relate that legal basis to the facts and issue of the case being answered. So, in this case, ganun yung mga umpisa. In the case at hand, or in this case, blank has no intention to kill. Hence, no, from the nature of the, according, di ba? Hence, from the foregoing discussion, no, lalagay mo ganun, no, it is essential that the intention to kill, it is an essential element, no, in the crime of murder. The intention to kill is an essential. Therefore, yung sunod, therefore, yan, there is no crime, or therefore there is a crime. The crime is murder. Ulitin mo lang. So, di ba, in 4 sentences, so lagi mong anuhin yung sagot mo, number 1, 1 sentence, yung sagot mo talaga, straight to the point. If there is crime, kawari ang tanong, what is crime committed? If there is any. So, lagay mo doon, anong crime? Second, legal basis. Your legal basis can be from RPC, kunwari yun, criminal law, RPC, or any law or jurisprudence, or any principles, no, yung mga authorities natin. Pero huwag na kayong pumunta dun sa mga authorities kasi dun na lang tayo sa mga jurisprudence. Second, relate that to the facts of the case, and then you're therefore, your conclusion. So that's 4 sentence. So kung kaya nyo gawin yun, ay, for sure. Kasi don't push, ito ang sabi sa akin, wag kang sasagot sa umpisa pa lang na, it depends. Oh my God, don't do that. That's the key recipe for failing, okay? Huwag kayo magsasagot na it depends. Kasi wala namang, kung ang tanong is straight, you have to answer straight. Okay? Kung gusto mo mag-argue ng it depends, you put that in dun sa body, sa baba. Okay? So, lagi mong sundutan na, while it is true, kunwari, while it is true that murder can be committed through aggravating circumstance of ganyan, nevertheless, in this case, ganyan, not with you, mga ganon, yung mga, kung gusto mo siyang laruin, nandun ka sa gitna, huwag ka doon sa umpisa. Ang dami magtitake ng bar, 11,790. So, imaginein mo, kung babasahin yan, umpisa pa lang, ako, nagtituro din ako, pero for college students, law subject for college students, ang tinitingnan ko talaga yung umpisa. Kasi sa dami mo nang i-checkan mo talaga, hindi mo na mababasa. So, laging umpisa and then the legal basis. Yan ang mga importante. Yun lang naman ang sa akin na based on my experience as a law student. Kasi hindi ko naman alam kung paano nag-check yung mga taga-Supreme Court. Well, ganun ako sumagot and pumasa naman ako. So, baka effective siya. And nakita ko yung trend nga kung paano sumagot sa bar Q&A. Nakita ko doon. So, ganun sila. Yung gusto nila mag-argue dun sa baba or dun sa gitna. While it is true, nevertheless. Ganun yung mga, while it is true, nevertheless. Okay. Na-late ako. We'll just view this again. Ayan. Thank you. Paano po ang effective memorization sa limited time remaining before the... Okay. Since remaining time na po ito, guys, kung talagang ang iyong memory ay talagang matalas, pwede ka pa mag-memorize. Pero kung sobrang bombarded na po yung inyong utak, para sa akin, ang kailangan nyo lang i-memorize is yung mga, hirap kasi sabihin ng mga importante kasi lahat naman importante. For instance, di ba sa CODAL, hindi naman lahat kailangan mo dun i-memorize. Okay, lagi nyo tatandaan yung pagsasite nyo ng law sa answer nyo na verbatim, okay yun. Good yun. Pero, it doesn't stop there. If you cite it verbatim, pero hindi mo naman siya ma-relate sa issue dun sa facts na ibinigay sa'yo, malalaman din yan ng examiner na i-memorize mo lang at hindi mo inintindi. So what am I trying to say is that it's not always the key to success is to memorize. You should know it and understand it by heart. Okay? Intindihin nyo by heart. Pwede nyo naman siya i-rephrase eh. Basta lagi nyo natatandaan kung saan nyo kinuha. Meron akong professor, sabi niya, pag hindi mo na kaya, according to the civil code, gano'n. Kasi kung mamaya mag-cite ka doon ng i-rephrase, yung pala, hindi pala siya sa civil code. According to the civil code, according to the family code, no? According to the, kung natatandaan mo pa yung article number, o di maganda, kahit hindi mo ma-verbatim, para sa akin yun na. That's my opinion. Pero kung kaya mo na ma-verbatim, walang problema, but it doesn't stop there. Kailangan mo siyang i-relate, kailangan mo maintindihan. Bakit mo siya ipinasok doon as yun as legal basis, okay? Pinasok-pasukan mo siya doon, hindi mo naman pala ma-relate dun sa question, nonsense. It will just parang ano lang siya, parang you are just impressing the judges, impressing the ating mga maestrado. Always know the law by heart, understand. Ako ang nakikita ko dito sa bar exam na to, since pinagsama-sama na nila yung mga topics, no? Hindi na siya, yung question is not framed in a way na nakaangkla lang siya dun sa issue ng political law. Nakaangkla lang siya dun sa issue ng labor. Kasi, ano siya eh, nakahalo siya. So, ang pagkakaano ko dyan, sa akin lang naman, no, I'm not saying that this is certain, no. Parang they really want to assess if you are ready to go to the field. Kasi sa field, kapag lawyers na kayo, hindi na to by topic. When you are handling an actual case, hindi na yan by topic, constitutional law, ito lang sasagot. Talagang interrelated yan. Constitutional law, i-relate mo sa criminal, i-relate mo sa labor code, i-relate. So I think, feeling ko lang, that will be the framing of the questions. No, yan magiging ganyan yung takbo nung mga questions. Kasi hindi ko nakikita na, since pinagsama yung political tsaka labor, number 1, constitution, number 2, labor, parang ganun. Parang hindi naman yata parang ganun. Ewan ko lang parang para sa akin, one question might include 2 issues that will involve labor or consti. Tapos, di ba yung isa, yung ano yun? Yung pangalawang day, yung ano yung pinagsama nila? Yung commercial law at saka civil relation. Tama ba ako? Kung ganun. O, di ba? Pag i-relate talaga nila yan. Relate yan. They will assess if you are ready to handle. Really. What is your advice sa amin po na examine considering the difficult situation po ngayon? Oy, Sir Ryan, well, I can only advise na be confident in yourself. Never lose confidence. Kasi, confidence, sorry. Kasi ang nangyayari, no, pag nandun ka na, tapos, sabi mo, shucks, hindi ko to nabasa. Parang ganon, shucks, hindi ko matandaan yung jurisprudence. Wala na. Tapos na. Nawala na yung confidence mo na masasagot. No. Always remember, hindi ka magpapatalo ng magpapakain ng buhay dito. Talagang lalaban ka talaga. So, kung kinakailangan mong dukutin yung basic principle na alam mo, ipasok mo dyan. Kaya nga, laging sinasabi ni Justice Leonen, stick to the basis because that's the very essence of law. Yung basic lang eh. Dagdag lang naman itong mga bagong interpretation ng jurisprudence. You always go to the basic kasi you can never go wrong with the basics. Okay? Kaya nga, Kaya imposible na hindi nyo masasagot because alam nyo yung basics, nandiyan lang yan. It's all in your mind. Nandiyan lang yan sa mga brains niyo. Naka-store na yan for so many years of studying plus 2 years of reviewing. Wag nyo i-depend yung capacity nyo sa pag-answer dun sa hindi mo masagot kasi hindi mo matandaan yung title ng case. Hindi mo masagot kasi hindi mo matandaan yung jurisprudence. Hindi mo matandaan punta ka dun sa basic. Nung nagre-review ako, nung nasa ano ako, fourth year ako, no, sa BEDA, yung professor ko, late na rin na professor, namatay na siya. Ang ginawa niya sa amin, memorize the Declaration of Policy. So I memorized the deck from Article 1 hanggang Executive Branch, Judiciary, minemorize ko yun, caudal. Sabi niya sa akin, memorize the Declaration of Policy. Kasi pag wala ka na talaga masagot, nandoon lang sa Declaration of Policy. And mukha namang nag-effect kasi grabe pa, matay yung political law nung panahon namin, that's 2016 bar. Talagang nanganganak yung hindi mo talaga kayang sagutin ng 4 na oras eh. Kasi in one question, may 8 sub-question at hindi lang yes or no yung sub-question na yun. So, napakahirap talaga. That's the killer political law na ano, hindi ko ngayon natapos kasi meron akong pagkakamali doon. So, pangit kasi ako magsulat. Okay, tatandaan nyo galingan nyo magsulat. Pangit ako magsulat, pero nag-practice ako na magsulat ng maayos during the bar. So, sa kagustuhan ko maging malinis yung aking papel, doon ako nag-answer sa questionnaire. Nung inililipat ko na siya, wala na, hindi ko na siya nailipat ng maayos. Parang naubusan na ako ng time. So after that, nawalan na ako ng confidence. Sabi ko, ayoko nang magtuloy, ayoko na. Kaya lang yung nanay ko nga nandun sa labas ng UST, nakabantay. So hindi ka makakatakas, di ba? So when I took the labor code on the afternoon, wala na. Ano na ako? Parang sabi ko na lang, kailangan ko itong tapusin. So, lumabas naman siya ng lumabas, pero hindi ko na matandaan kung anong sinagot ko doon. It turned out naman, pasado naman yung labor code. Pasado din naman yung political law pero mababa siya. Mababa. Pero nahila siya ng remedial, nahila siya ng criminal, nahila siya ng commercial law. Sino pa? Don't lose confidence in yourself kasi wala eh. Ikaw lang yun pag nag-e-exam. Okay? Mawalan na ng confidence lahat ng tao sa paligid mo pero ikaw dapat hindi. Lagi mo tatandaan, you didn't get this far only to back out. Para lang sumagot ng blank. My God, don't do that. Sumagot ka na sumagot. Paano po effective memory? Meron na. Meron pa pong tayong questions. Okay. Hanggang 4 p.m. Sabi ni Sinam. Sabi ni Sinam, civil income. Wow, paano kaya nila pinrame yun? Civil and commercial law. Pero sabi naman ni Justice Leonin, di ba, magiging mabait naman daw sila mag-check. Kasi 2 years nang walang lawyer, so baka may deficit na ng... Welcome po, Ma'am Rowena Notario. Meron pa po mukhang wala na, 82 viewers. Good afternoon, ma'am. Hi. Kung wala na tayo, going once, twice, we can end na here. Tsaka lagi niyong tatandaan, magdadasal talaga kayo. Ako talagang dasal talaga, dasal, 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 dasal. No, paano po makastudy in one day sa Feb 24? Alam nyo guys, yung pagitan na yan, okay, kahit na isang linggo pa yung pagitan na yan, yung study yung context na nasa utak nyo ng pag-aaral, in the usual study na talagang dadagsain mo ng information ng utak mo, hindi na yan possible. Hindi na yan maa-absorb. Unless na lang super woman at superman ka. Hindi na po yan maa-absorb. The gap, yung one day gap na yan, na lang yan, ako para sa akin, it should be devoted for resting. Alam mo na yan. Don't procrastinate. Wala na. Hindi ko sinasabi wala ka ng pag-asa. Hindi ko sinasabi, you have to give yourself some enough rest. Kasi kahit alam mo kung pagod ang utak mo, hindi yan lalabas. Believe me, sabi nga ni Attorney Sandoval, sa lecture namin sa political law during review, 1, 2, 3 study, hindi siya naniniwala dyan sa 1, 2, 3 na readings. Baka pagdating mo daw ng bar exam, patay ka na. Kaya sobrang pagod. Kailangan nyo mag-rest. Kailangan nyo mag-divert din kahit papano ng utak. Kasi once your brain is overload, over information, magba-blackout yan. Promise, magba-blackout yan. Exhausting talaga. Unless na lang siguro talagang sanay ka naman talagang mag-aral sa buhay mo, then possible, may maaalala ka pa. Naalala ko nga meron akong kasama sa bar exam, ka-roommate ko sa hotel. Nung the night after, may dala-dala siyang ganito karaming mga files ng jurisprudence. Sabi ko, good luck sa maalala mo yan. Kahit basahin mo yan, hindi mo na maalala yan bukas. Believe me. Kaya you have to be confident na nandito lang yan. I'm sure Sir Ryan nandyan na yan. You already have all the knowledge, all the bullets you need for the war on kailan ba? January. Kailan ba? 25. 23 and 25. Nandyan na lahat ng kailangan mo. Just believe in yourself. Alam mo yan. Alam mo na yan. Even in law school, Diyos ko, matatandaan mo lahat. Ako nga umabot sa point na naririnig ko sa likod ng utak ko yung yung lecture nung professor ko na judge. Ay, Judge Wagan, Judge Palamos, from San Beda. Kung napapanood po nila ako. Hindi. Talaga naririnig ko yung boses nila na nagle-lecture during the remedial law exam. Abirin, ganyan. Pag tinatawag nila ako during the nandun, marerefresh yan. Nandun siya. Nandyan lang yan sa loob. Thank you again for the Data Privacy Act. Welcome, Sir Dennis. Sino pa po? Ayan. So, going once, going twice. We're going to end this session. So, maraming salamat sa invitation ng ating admins sa akin to conduct a lecture on Data Privacy Act and to have an opportunity na ma-lift naman yung mga moral and confidence ng ating mga barista. Lagi niyong tatandaan, pray and be confident. Okay? Huwag kayong matakot na wala kayong alam dahil imposibleng wala kayong alam. Okay? Laging may alam kayo. Okay? May alam kayo. So, marami pong salamat. Sana sa susunod makapag-lecture tayo ulit dito. Maghahanap tayo ng another interesting topic. Cybercrime. Gusto nyo ba yung cybercrime? Cybercrime ni Enchong D. Ang gusto nyo ba? Analyze muna natin. Thank you for the words of encouragement, Attorney Laban lang. Malapit na tayo sa finish line. Of course, 'di ba? Nakarating ka na, nag-pandemic na. Tapos buhay ka pa, ibig sabihin may purpose ka pa sa pagtanggap ng UI. Thank you din po, Ma'am Gian Palad. So, I guess I will finish my lecture now. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng nanood. 80 viewers kanina, parang mabot pa tayo ng 100. Hindi po natin, hindi ko iti-take down itong video sa YouTube. So, please subscribe and share. Wow, Safe Space Act Attorney. Sige. Ano, mukhang ano ito. Bakit Safe Space Act? Sige nga, Sir Dennis. May ano ba to na question sa bar? Yung Safe Space Act? O ano ba? Sikat na sikat ba to ngayon? Kasi ako, nakaka-encounter ako ng ganito sa trabaho. Sa trabaho and sa case, sa mga admin case, sa labor. Sa labor siguro to, no? Sexual harassment. Ay, kasama sa ano? Nasa syllabus. Sorry, hindi ko nabasa yung syllabus. Okay, sige, to be very brief, meron pa naman tayong 30 minutes. Ang daldal ko talaga. Alam nyo, based on my experience, okay, yung Safe Space Act na yan, naka-anchor yan dun sa, sa sexual harassment. The only thing is, the catcalling. The only thing is, no, pag inanalyze mo, kasi ako ganun ako mag-analyze ng batas eh. Pag inanalyze mo yung Safe Space Act, it fills the gaps, it fills the loopholes ng sexual harassment. Kung makikita mo kasi sa sexual harassment, masyadong limited, 'di ba? Kailangan nandun yung ma-establish mo yung attending circumstance na it should be may moral ascendancy, merong yung kailangan parang it is for favor, mga ganyan, 'di ba? Kailangan mo ma-establish when in fact no, here comes the Safe Space Act na even without, 'di ba? Even without the presence of the moral ascendancy, the presence of sexual favor, pwede ka pa rin makasuhan ng in a way sexual harassment, pero under the Safe Space Act. Okay, parang ganun ang pagkakaintindi ko dyan. Kasi I handle a case, admin case on that. So sabi ko, ito yung pang-fill ng gaps ng sexual harassment. Kasi madami nakakalusot sa sexual harassment, lalo na kung sabihin nilang walang moral ascendancy. Di ba? Kunwari, boss mo, pero nandun ka naman, mataas nga siya, superior, pero ang layo naman yung division, nasa medical ka, tapos yung nagsi-sexual harassment sa'yo allegedly, nandun naman sa let's say, sa HR, no malayo naman, no, walang direct moral ascendancy na pwede siyang humingi ng sexual favor na magi-give in ka doon in exchange of a sexual favor, magi-give in ka doon, no, sa intimidation na yon. So, ito, pwede itong nag-fill to ng gap, itong Safe Space Act. And also, di ba, kunwari walang attending circumstance nga nung mga moral ascendancy, sexual favor in relation to work or whatsoever, lagi nyo tatandaan, meron pa tayong RPC, okay? Meron tayong Acts of Lasciviousness, RPC. So, dun nagkakaroon ng, kaya nga sinasabi ko, always know the elements, always know who may commit, paano ang attending circumstances na nakukumit ang isang crime, kasi doon nagkakamali. Kaya maraming nadidismiss sa fiscal level pa lang because of the elements, lacking elements. So, kung hindi siya papasok sa sexual harassment, o i-addition mo yung Safe Space Act, pasok mo siya sa Acts of Lasciviousness, di ba? Yung ganun. Yan. RA 92. Yung 9262, yung sexual harassment yan, di ba? Based solely on sexual favor, I think. Kasi meron kasi siyang will 9262 fall without sexual favor? Kasi guys, yung sa Sexual Harassment Act, parang ang pinapanish niya doon, no? Sabi ko nga, go to the intention. Ang pinapanish niya doon is you intimidate the person in doing something, pero parang ang kapalit nun is for sexual favor. Sorry, sexual harassment. Yeah. For sexual favor. Kumbaga, kukunin mo yung gusto mo, makukuha mo yung gusto mo, mapapagawa mo sa kanya kung anong gusto niya, Makukuha mo yung gusto, kumbaga intimidate mo siya by using your position, through that sexual favor, yun yung pinaka-attending circumstances niya. Merong point of my God, naging criminal na ako dito, but makapagtawanan tayo ng mga authorities. Para sa akin kasi ganun, ha. That makes it peculiar from any other crime. If there's no sexual favor, it will fall under dun sa acts of lasciviousness na walang moral ascendancy. Wala ka namang hinihingi in exchange of something. Kunwari, o sige, magpapapromote ka. O, di ba? Kunwari, the scenario is promotion. Nag-a-apply ka for promotion, pero itong head ng HR, sige, makipag-sex ka muna sa akin. So, papasok siya sa sexual harassment because merong exchange na nangyayari, while in acts of lasciviousness, in ordinary, in the revised penal code, there is no such thing as that. As long as you have ano nga term yun? Oh my gosh. As long as meron kang sexual intention, ano yun? Diba? Nagbe-brain freeze na ako. Basta meron kang help me, guys. Ano yung na acts of lasciviousness? Lascivious intention to commit, okay? Kung meron kang, kung yun lang, okay na yun. Acts of lasciviousness. It doesn't necessarily mean na meron tayong pinag-uusapang ditong favor or may exchange. Kahit walang exchange, basta nandun yung intention mo na yung mga ganyang last choose na intention, then it will be acts of lasciviousness. Pero syempre, all in yan, lewd design. Thank you, Ma'am Jean. Ma'am Gian Palad. Kasi naman, ba't tayo nag-lecture? Para na tayong minsan kasi nag-mental gap na tayong ganyan. So, lewd design, yan. So, yung Safe Space Act, medyo all-catching to. Nung tinignan ko siya dun sa, parang pinasadahan ko lang kasi nga meron akong na-handle na admin case. Dalawa yung kinasok sa kanya, sexual harassment and the Safe Space Act. Madali lang, guys, yung Safe Space Act. Ang feeling ko, gusto lang talaga nila dyan malaman kung how will you apply it. Yan ang diferensya ng Safe Space Act sa sexual harassment. Lewd design. Oh. Sino pa? Okay na ba? Sir Joseph Lester, FYI. Ano po FYI? Naku, nasa syllabus pala yun. Ba't kaya? Ano pa bang nasa syllabus ninyo? Di ko pa kasi nakita yung syllabus eh. Yung mga... Marami mga special law doon sa syllabus. Guys. So, sige. Basta pag mag-aaral kayo nun ng mga special law, punta kayo dun muna kayo sa Declaration of Policy. Titignan nyo yung intention ng batas. Tapos punta kayo doon sa definition of terms. Kasi minsan talaga pag nag-aaral ka, dun ka na agad sa mga how the crime is committed eh. Tapos what is the penalty. Nakakalimutan yung intention. Okay? So, yan. Laging ganun kayo mag-aaral. Okay? Saan na ba? Ano ito? Sorry. Okay, so I guess pwede na tayong mag-stop here para makapag-prepare kayo. May next lecture pa, I think, appeal ba ito? Parang gusto ko nga rin manood ng appeal. So, ayan. So, tatandaan nyo guys yung knowledge nyo, kumpleto na yan. You have everything and lahat ng kailangan nyo na bala para sa war na yan ay nandyan sa inyong utak. So, para mailabas nyo ang utak at mailabas yung mga bala na yan, you have to condition your mind. And one of the ways in conditioning your mind is to rest your mind. Okay, wag masyadong gamitin ng gamitin, no? Gamitin ng gamitin, mapapagod 'yan. 7610. Bawsi, naku, usong-uso talaga yan. Alam niyo yung Bawsi, ako feeling ko tanong lang dyan talaga, ano eh. Una, yung mga common law, 'di ba? Mga common law, yung hindi ka naman kasal o pwede ba yung Bawsi? Of course, pwede yung Bawsi. May mga jurisprudence na yan, 'di ba? And yung sabi nga nila, paano kung hindi siya Bawsi? Saan mo siya ipapasok? Di ordinary RPC ulit sa mga ordinary crimes natin under the RPC like physical injury, serious physical injury. So usually kasi alam mo, usually ganyan talaga yung mga tanong sa akin eh. Wait lang ha. Okay. Sorry. Nag-ano lang tayo. Bio break. Ah, mukhang may mga mag-lecture naman yata nito, mga Bawsi. Yan sila Fiscal Fred. Sila Fiscal Mario Luna. Yan, magagaling yan. Talagang mga, pati ka na yan sa criminal law. Okay, any more questions? So I guess wala na. We can wrap up na. No, dismiss na natin itong ating session. So maraming salamat ulit sa lahat ng mga nanood and I hope to see you very very soon. And good luck sa bar. Good luck sa inyong schooling dun sa mga estudyante. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.